Intellectually petty radio on your stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order. Intellectually petty radio on the stereo. Don't compare us to anything, this a different scenario. We break records while we pushing the culture forward. Great music and big vibes right in that order.
And you are now tuned into another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio, brought to you by My Bad, in concert with Beautiful Machine Magazine. Y'all already know, man, with the mighty Nerd DJs Radio Network. And today is, look, every week, every month, every hour, every minute, it's the same shit. We only rock with legends around here. And today is absolutely no different. We have Asya. I hope I said that correctly. Okay, she's nodding, so I think I got that. Shein. I've been fucking people's names up. I'm sorry, but I do. We got Frank Nitt, who's having some technical difficulties, but he has been on the show before, so I know he'll get that resolved and be on to close it out, because my man is that guy. Anyway, let's bring Asya to the conversation. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How's your family?
Good. Thanks for asking. Everyone's doing all right.
Oh, my bad. I'm just kind of getting the video presentation better. Wow, I like that in the background. What language is that?
I have a ton of stuff. There's some Chinese stuff. There's
right
Bob
there.
Marley's in the background, I think. Oh no, you're looking at some Buddhist art my better half has up. So we have an eclectic little home office thing going on over here.
When did you first hear J Dilla?
I was a teenager in Detroit, working in house music, and I heard about Proof and Slum Village and all of the Detroit hip hop that was coming out of the scene in the mid 90s. And so I heard about him when I was living in the D as a teenager.
Yo, what was your first thought? Matter of fact, I saw a clip of Flea the other day, and I can't remember the name of the Dilla album, but he was saying how he was like going on his daily journey or whatever, walking around and shit, and that it brought him to tears. What is it about him that made you want to go all in to the point of keeping his name alive after he's gone?
So it's really important for us to do that because, legacy is everything. And, he passed at such a young age of 32 and really gave the world more music than the average person gives in, a century worth of music. And we want people to always remember him. He was ahead of his time. He was a true Aquarian, Soulquarian, and it's important to keep his legacy alive through artists with different genres throughout the world, and do events and kind of keep that name alive, and also help not only just raise awareness but help keep the money flowing, because when you throw events and you include family and talent and other artists that he was affiliated with, so just really keeping it going.
Yo, so when you sit down and you think about music, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Jay Dilla's music.
Just music and period. Just period.
Music, period. Well, music is for me, a sense of home and comfort and a sense of release. I'm a dancer, so I love to, it's creative process. I live for it. I don't know a world without music, and I've been in the music industry since I was a teenager, so for over 30 years now.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, I would have never guessed that. Oh my God. Yeah, I guess I asked that because like I'm 53. Matter of fact, I'm an Aquarius also. Just had a birthday. Happy birthday to me.
Happy
Uh,
birthday.
Appreciate it. But music wise, it still just charges me so much. Like if I'm listening to, and it could be, I don't know, 18-year-old artist, but you got a really dope song. I just still love to hear really dope songs. Who have you listened to in the last few years that just surprised you?
Um, I'm a big fan of like really weird jazz. So I like bands like Coco Roco, and Go Go Penguin. I know those are interesting names. I like a lot of music out of the UK. I love, like Alpha Mist. I'm a huge fan of. I also love American soul and jazz artists. A lot of people that I personally work with, so I'm a little biased, but I also a huge fan of Afro tech, Afro house, soulful house, whatever you want to call it. Mainly house music from the African continent, but also a lot of our people here that make amazing music all over the United States and North America. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of a lot of different genres. I'm quite eclectic. I love hip hop, but I'm on all around music fan.
I didn't know Africa had house music.
Oh yeah, Africans run house music. I will fight to the end. Chicago invented it. Detroit took it and made techno out of it. New York made it bigger. The UK made it even bigger. But the Africans run it now.
Yo, I'm gonna have to act because back in my day, house like the city urban the dudes from the hood could not understand house music until you went to a house music party,
Right.
and yo, that shit was just different.
Mm-hmm.
And it
Mm-hmm.
was a safe space more so than other parties that you might go to.
Yeah, for sure, for
I
sure.
never seen nobody fighting at a house music party, and the shit was lit all the way till 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yep.
Oh my god, man! What do you appreciate the most about Detroit music?
Detroit is like the godfather of almost every genre, that you could almost think of. It's just such an important city. Without Motown, there wouldn't have been, anything really. So you've got, I think Frank joined us, and maybe he could speak on this better since he's from Detroit, and I've been doing a lot of talking, but definitely think that Detroit is the most important, if not the most important city for music in the world. So it's definitely, again, it's invented and reinvented itself. From Motown to techno to hip hop to now it's just like a scene filled with everything. And it's just a really important musical city for sure.
And if you are not familiar with Frank Nitt, please do your soul and your eyeballs and your ears a favor and tap in because dude is phenomenal. Um, I think everything is fixed.
Is that better for you? Can you hear me?
That is
We can hear you.
perfect. Hold on.
Okay, good, good,
Yeah.
good.
Matter of fact, do your phone just like this for me.
Hmm?
Just
Turn
turn
it
your phone.
around.
Yeah, just
It's on
turn
my
it.
tablet, so we'll see what happens.
Oh, okay. Well, and don't worry about it. I didn't realize she was on your
Okay.
tablet. We'll deal with it. And what me and Asya were talking about was just
Mhm.
the Detroit music scene and the love for it. We discussed her first time listening to what really got her into Dilla. And I guess that would be my first question for you. Also, what was it about? Do you remember the first time you heard a Dilla beat?
Oh man, yeah, but nah, I can't tell you what the beat was per se,
Mm-hmm.
but it was probably um, ooh, I want to say maybe eighth grade, maybe, and maybe before that, probably yeah, around eighth grade, eighth or ninth grade, and maybe before that, maybe seventh grade. Uh, because it started off um with he didn't really have a drum machine. He had pause and record.
Mm-hmm.
So it was two dual cassette decks side by side. So yeah, it was he was amazing then. It was
Really?
a thing then. Like, yo, how did you even do that with two cassette decks? And he was a scientist with it even then. So it's probably, to put a year to it, 88, maybe 88, 89,
Yo.
something
And
like that. Yeah.
so everything thereafter was not a surprise to you.
No, no. I mean, uh, funny enough, by the time the world got to him, it was like it was normal. It was kind of an everyday thing where you just kind of expected it. Because again, I was in the house when he got his first actual drum machine, which was nothing but like a little 4 pad, little small little thing, right?
Hmm.
And so, uh, no, it had become commonplace by that point. But he was always, you know, around the corner when everybody else was standing on the corner. He was always around the corner, especially when it came to music.
Okay, and we talked a little bit off camera, me and Asya, about Dilla Fest,
Hmm.
and it not because I was thinking it was an event, and she corrected me. But I want people that may be ignorant like myself to also get that same correction. I don't know, Asya, you said it so phenomenally. Did you want to take this one, or you want Frank
Yeah,
to
no,
explain it?
sure, sure. So we started out by doing our first one, which was an event in August of 2021, right after the pandemic, kind of just bringing people back. And then people wanted us to do more and wanted us to do other. So Dilla Fest is more of like an umbrella brand under
Mm-hmm.
which we do virtual and in real life events, whether big and small. But there is the Dilla Fest, the original one in 2021. It became bigger than what we had anticipated. So it's sort of become like an umbrella for everything that we do, revolving Dilla, especially around his birthday, but also during our summer festival seasons.
Hmm.
How'd you guys link up?
Oh man, Aja used to. She was uh Dilla's booking agent way back in the day. So Aja's been around and been down with the crew forever. Well before any of this show stuff and all that. She's been the homegirl and just a helpful piece to what we did, from musicology, hosting and giving us promotion, and just as well as, again, being Dylan's booking agent early on for his DJ gigs, and he would take us on his DJ gigs. So she had to deal with us as well. So Oz has been the homie for, I don't know, better than 2 decades. Yeah, two decades
Almost
plus.
three, Frank. We're
Yeah,
creeping
I'm
on
about to
30
say
years.
almost three. Yeah, yeah.
So just as a brief history, I always want to credit Questlove of the Roots because he was my first client, my first like big name client outside of the house music DJs that I was booking. And Questlove, I don't know, but I think he vouched for me. I mean, he's a humble dude. He probably doesn't even remember anything that I'm saying, but all of a sudden, other heavyweight DJs came into my orbit, into my roster, and this was the late 90s, early thousands. And then I did bookings for a decade. So I was an agent for over 10 years.
Do you still do bookings?
No, I don't like promoters. Not kidding. But I help people and I connect people and I know people. So if somebody, is doing something, I'm pretty sure I can help them in some way, shape, or form, whether it's bookings or selling more tickets. But yeah, I like to have a life and I like to keep some sort of level of sanity. So no, I'm not an agent anymore.
No, she won't do
Yo,
it. I've tried. I've tried 100 times. She won't do
yo, that's got to
it.
be a crazy ass job though.
Yeah, yeah.
Biggest
Just
name that DJ I've never heard of that you had booking.
Jazzy Jeff.
Yo,
Yeah, and he's still my buddy. So I love Jeff. He's my favorite. But to him and Questlove, Dilla, I did Maceo from De La Soul, Alicia Heat from Tribe Called Quest. Pretty much everybody in that world for a little time. I was sort of the agent that booked the band DJs after their show. So they would come and DJ the after party and bring whoever wanted to come. And it became a thing. And I don't know if I doubt I invented anything, but I definitely don't know anyone that was doing it before I was doing it, especially on that level.
Okay, I'm pretty sure both of y'all can answer this one though. But best after party DJ.
Go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
No, I would say, I well, it's that's tough. That's tough. Um, but I'll say based on just the power of the people that comes along to the party after. Like Questlove pulls the craziest like crowd of folks to come while he's DJing. Like you never know the type. It's like celebrities from every type of celebrityism. It's like movie stars, music stars, crazy executives. Like I'll tell you this. This is a crazy little thing. We Frank and Dank, my group, Black Milk, and the Roots were all playing a festival in Norway, and Questlove was DJing an after party. And at the after party, it was the members of the Roots, Frank and Dank, Black Milk, Tony Yayo from G Unit, Killer Mike and his wife, like just all of these like different facets of hip hop just kind of merged together
In Norway.
in Norway at a Questlove party, right? Talib Kweli was there. Like it was just like the craziest kind of mashing of music talent, and all in the name of we partying with Quest and just having a good time. So Quest brings him out. Like Quest is crazy with his the people that pull up to his parties.
Yeah, I totally agree. I don't think anyone could top that. I mean, he would bring Prince to all my party. Well, he wouldn't bring Prince, but because he was DJing, Prince would show up. Prince has been to so many of my events that I can't even count, and that is a huge blessing and honor. And so yeah, definitely Questlove. I think a solid second would be Rich Medina.
Yeah, Rich is
I
Rich
mess
is
with Rich Medina. Yeah, he's
yeah,
great.
Rich is that guy.
Rich is a better DJ.
Don't you say that? People gonna hear
Whatever. He is.
Yo,
Amir Questlove Thompson would agree that Rich Medina is a better DJ than him, all right? But Questlove can play the drums. Probably, I don't even think Rich touches the drums, so he's got that up on him on that, right?
you
it.
just so you just
It,
go
it evens out. It
stroll
evens
with
out.
Prince
Yeah.
coming by your parties though.
Yeah, no, that's
Really?
funny that you said that because at a Roots after party, me and Dilla were in New York, working on Dilla was working on like Water for Chocolate with Common, and there is a Roots after party. They had just played I can't remember what TV show it was, one of the late night shows, and D'Angelo was in the house, and Q-Tip and Busta and Russell Simmons and Little Kim, and there's a whole smattering of people at this after hours, this Roots after jam, and it got so crazy that the fire marshal shut it down. Prince was outside on his way in when they shut the party down, and he couldn't get in. And they didn't shut the party down; they just closed the doors, and couldn't nobody else get in. And Prince was outside, on his way in. Yeah, so Questlove is serious business when it comes to that type of stuff.
I would not have guessed that one, to be quite honest. Just people that I've seen, that I don't know, but that I've seen like on TV or whatever. Kid Capri,
Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
just man, yo, that guy from a DJ perspective, just keeping the party hype. Like
Yeah.
I seen him DJ a party, and I'm at home in my living room, and I'm so fucking hyped, like I was there.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what is hip hop your favorite genre, Frank?
Yes, by far.
What is it about hip hop?
Um, I don't know. I don't know. It for me, because like I latched onto it in around 82, 83, when I was, 8 or 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the first time. It wasn't what my parents was doing. I couldn't go to them. I couldn't talk to my brothers and sisters about it. It was it was for me and us as, young kids at that time, right?
Yeah.
Like, so uh I don't know, man. Once I fell in love with it, and I've kind of been through every facet. I was part of a breakdancing crew when I was, 10,
You know,
11.
the craziest
Oh,
thing about breakdancing, bro, is that we actually would show up to a motherfucker's house
yeah,
with a cardboard box.
bro. I had a roll of linoleum that I would roll out in my basement. Like, it was serious. It was serious. Like, uh,
Yo.
I was like the token black kid in an all Spanish breakdancing crew, because I lived in Southwest Detroit. And Southwest Detroit is like
Yeah.
kind of the Spanish kind of hub of
Yeah.
Detroit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, uh, yeah, no, again, I fell in love with it, and it took me on a ride, bro. Like, so yeah, by far hip hop is my favorite genre, but I grew up in Detroit, so you hear and you come across all types of music, from rock music to techno and house and and gospel music, and so, like, if you look at it, I got a playlist on my YouTube that has everything, and it's mostly R&B, but I got rock records in there and jazz records in there, and because living in Michigan, you kind of get all of that.
So what do we have?
Even
What do we have coming up next for Dilla Fest?
So we have this Friday at Crush Fridays. We have DJ C minus and J period doing a few DJ sets at what we're calling Dilla Fest at Crush Fridays. That's in Los Angeles.
Mhm.
Also in LA the very next day, we've got Dilla Day LA featuring Frank and Dank, Slum Village, J Rock, and a slew of others. The next day after that, a similar lineup with a Bay Area sort of vibe to it up in San Francisco on Sunday, the 8th.
Mhm.
And there's a few events that have just passed this past weekend, like doing it for Dilla at Boombox here in Los Angeles as well. Next month, there's going to be a slew of events happening. I haven't really seen any promo yet. Maybe Frank can chime in Detroit in March for Dilla week. So there's a lot of Dilla stuff. And then coming up in July, we're soon going to be doing the actual announcement of the 30th anniversary of Lab Cap in California by the Far Side, which will also be hosted by Frank Nitt. He knows that now. And and then of course the Far Side is a special guest. So we've got a lot of great things coming up. Those are just some of the things that we work on, but there are other people that do some of their other Dilla stuff, like Philly Loves Dilla by our girl by Fly Girl, Stacy
Just
Fly Girl Wilson in Philly. Yeah, just happened. So DJ Spinna did his thing.
hmm
So there's a lot of ancillary events, but those are some of the main events. And you can find almost everything at dillafest.com and then also at dilladayla.com, which is the official website for the event that's happening this Saturday.
yeah,
Yo, I love the Far Side.
yeah.
They're so fucking dope, man. Yo, the that era of West Coast music in the Far Side, and and who else was out there? 93 2 Souls of Mischief,
hmm
Cube's cousin, I can't remember his name. But that whole genre of,
Hieroglyphics.
you said
Yeah,
who?
I said the hieroglyphics. It was a
Oh,
ton of
exactly. That
yeah.
whole movement is so criminally underrated as far as their contribution to hip hop.
Mm.
Oh
Yeah,
my
no.
god, man.
You know, living. I mean, Aja obviously is. I think she is part of the LA soil at this point. But I lived there for altogether like 14 years myself,
Mhm.
and it's crazy how they have a world unto themselves. Like for touring, for radio, for all of the things that like someone like us, like someone from Detroit would have to, we have to kind of go outside of
Yeah.
Detroit to get, right? Like to sustain as far as making money doing shows and gathering a larger audience. And like on the West Coast, they kind of have their own kind of like world to live in. So it's like you could, if you're not there,
Mhm.
you could seemingly think that these guys from the outside looking in aren't moving around as much as say someone from a New York or you know what I'm saying, something like
Yeah.
that. But it's like not true whatsoever. It is completely. They have a crazy like world of their own. I was blessed enough to be able to be a part of it and go up and down the coast and into the other cities and spots around California and LA specifically. But you know, from New Mexico to Arizona and Kansas City and all these West Coast acts get to go there. And you don't hear about, you know, unless it's a super humongous act that
Yeah.
just goes everywhere. You don't hear about other places or other, like I would even say like a mid-level artist that are in these places.
Yeah.
But guess what? You go on the West Coast, and there's a whole tour from gangster West Coast music to, you know, quote unquote backpack hip hop. All the different facets of hip hop are just moving around out there. So it's they have their own kind of thing where they could almost say, "Hey, we don't really care about the rest of the country," right? Like, well, guess what? Our section of the country will suffice, and we can do, you know, 20, 30, 40 shows just here at home, realistically.
Yo, that's
So
crazy right there.
yeah, it's crazy, and I mean I get it. Like the New York guys have like the tri-state where they can go to Philly, Jersey, Connecticut,
Yeah.
and New York, but nah, like on the West Coast you can go from Vancouver, Canada, down to Mexico City, like like you know what I'm saying, and everywhere in between, and and you can dip off into Texas, and like I said, New Mexico and Arizona, Kansas City, and like it's crazy how the West Coast, the sound, and also the artists have this big section of the country
Yeah.
that they could move around in, and not even make a blip on the radar on the East Coast.
Okay, so this is a question that's totally unrelated to anything, but that I ask everybody that comes on the show. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so you're sitting on a park bench, and God sits down next to you, and
Mm.
he or she says you can ask them one question. What would it be?
What is the meaning of life?
Do you
I
really
mean, if it's
want that
one question,
information?
it's going to be that question.
Do you really want that information though?
Hell yeah.
Are you prepared to have the meaning of life?
Yep.
I think that might be the most depressing answer I could ever get. Why do I need another second?
I would probably ask how my friends and family are doing. You know,
Okay, here's one I rarely ask. Same question, different player. What if it was Satan?
I would ask them when the hell is he leaving.
I would ask him when he's coming to get his boy up in office right now. Bring him back home.
Now you said no politics.
Hey man, that's the closest person I can think of to the
Sometimes
guy
you gotta
down
call a
under.
spade a spade, though.
First
Sometimes
person
you
that
can
came to
call.
mind.
Yeah, I'd want to know when he's leaving.
Right.
Roughest patch career wise.
Mm,
For me, it was right after the economy tanked in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Like no one was doing anything. No one wanted to tour. People were canceling tours. So everything that I set up in '08, it was like null and void. Money was tight. Advertising money was tight. It was such a crazy time. I didn't know if I could continue with my company. And it sucked because at that point I had just stopped doing bookings and I started to really focus on musicology and doing marketing. And it just was so crazy. And then the knight in shining armor known as Red Bull that I think has cut everyone checks came in and hired me for a pretty big event, and the rest is sort of history. And I was able to just maintain, but that was a really hard time, like no money, no food in the fridge type hard time, like for real hard time.
Mm.
mm. Um, Probably for me, probably around 2008, 2000, yeah, around 2007, between 2007 2008, the end of 2007 and going into 2008. Uh, I, I couldn't money. It was a money thing, but it was also a transition because it was when I first started doing solo records and things,
Mm-hmm.
and like at that point, Dank had gotten to a situation where he couldn't tour, so it kind of chopped our money off, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes any sense.
Yeah.
And I had to kind of figure it out while he dealt with what he had to deal with. And we like I had to basically reinvent because my identity was in Frank and Dank as a group. So I had to reinvent what it was I was doing as far as making music and being able to display just me, because most people would be, well, where's Dank type
Yeah.
of situation, right? So, uh, so me and him both had to kind of figure out a new way to do things if we wanted to continue musically and be able to do Frank and Dank when he was free and clear to move around again, right? So, uh, yeah, it was a crazy time, and I was kind of I don't know, searching for what Frank solo looked like. Luckily, I figured it out, and by sometime in 2008, I was able to get a tour, and from there, kind of life changed. I went out to California, and it was a whole new world type thing. So, yeah, no, I think around into 2007, going to 2008 was probably the roughest patch, and then of course after Dilla passed away, everything looked a little crazy.
How'd you find out?
His mother called us because me and Dank were in Canada at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But our saving grace was we had a record we had put out in Canada only, but was gearing up to put it out in the States at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of kept us busy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, everything was a little black when he passed. It was a little, a lot of normalcy had kind of disappeared.
Mm.
Yeah.
How about you, Oz?
I found out because we were at a Grammy event, ironically, and I was with his one of Dilla's uh closest people to him, Kareem Riggins, and we found out together
Mm-hmm.
at a Roots jam session just I think 2 days after Dilla's birthday. We were just talking about him, and then later on that night, it started to kind of the news started to spread. But we were both told not to say anything. People weren't 100% sure. This is pre, social media, pre a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things. But yeah, we found out at the Roots jam session of the night that he passed in February of 2006.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's just horrible. Do you have kids?
No, thank God.
What does your family think about your success?
Me?
Yes.
Um, I mean, I don't think they know what I do. They don't like my parents are immigrants from the Soviet Union. You know, my dad's an engineer, my mom's a musician. I mean, they know I'm okay. They love they love seeing the photos. I think they love my better half better because they understand what he does for a living. So I think they're proud of me. But you know, I sacrifice not having children by running a business and also not
Mhm.
being able to like meet like quote unquote normal people while being in the industry for a long time. So because you know, musicians are not at all like the people you really want to try to have a baby with. So let's keep it 100.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think they're really
I'm a
proud of me. I
musician.
mean, they know about my business. Fusicology, thank God, is you know, has been prosperous and successful. I've done some really amazing things with partners like Frank and other artists and you know creatives. So yeah, I hope they're proud of me. They're on their older side now, so I think at this point, as long as I'm happy, they're happy.
What is Fusicology?
So Fusicology is a 21-year-old platform that promotes soul, funk, jazz, hip hop, house, and a little bit of other musical genres of events. We're also event producers, and we work with the city of Los Angeles as producers for the Department of Cultural Affairs. So I'm both an event producer and also I'm a publisher of a calendar listing of events.
Frank, what other type of music do you enjoy?
Um, like I mentioned before, R&B, and I mean I'm from Detroit, so techno and house music is kind of part of the fabric of what it is we do.
As a matter of
Uh,
fact, I'm sorry to interrupt. What's a rock group that I would be surprised you fuck with?
but see, we got to understand, like beyond hip hop, it's like bits and pieces of things.
Right.
But like, like I like Twisted Sister. The song "We're Not Gonna Take It" is one of my favorites.
Okay,
Right?
I fucks with that song right there.
Like Nirvana got a couple joints that's crazy.
Okay,
Uh,
Nirvana got a lot of joints. It's crazy.
well, yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah. But
fucks
I'm
with
just
Nirvana pretty heavy, bruh.
see. Um, uh,
Tool. How can you not
I'm
mention Tool?
see. I'm not sure. I probably know a song and don't know
Oh,
a thing.
Did they remake Johnny Cash's song?
I don't know.
I know it's a rock
Uh,
group that remade his
who
song.
makes
I fucks with Johnny Cash too, by the way. Johnny Cash is just, even though
the
that's not rock.
song "Living on a Prayer"? Who made "Living on a Prayer"?
Oh, that's Bon Jovi.
Bon Jovi. They got joints. Uh, so you know, a few like a lot of classic '80s rock type stuff.
They made the big songs.
Hmm.
You know, like Nirvana ushered in a whole new era of
Well,
shit.
yeah, they changed what it looked like. They made grunge the thing to do.
Oh my god! And then like it was like 87 bands that came out of Seattle. Although I
Hmm.
must admit, I fucks with a lot of the Seattle music at the time. Uh, yo, any advice that you want to pass on to the next generation? And then I'll
uh,
ask you answer the same question, Asya.
you want to take that first?
Sure. I would say, you know, stay off your phones as much as possible doing nothing because you know a lot of people say, did you see my post, did you see my post? I specifically only go on social media twice a day, in the beginning of the day and the end of the day, because this is going to make us stupid and maybe even worse. All the chat gtp, all these things, all the ai, it's great to an extent, but you know keeping yourself focused and organic is really really important, especially in the next this next generation that's coming in. So you know just try to be human, you know, put your feet in the soil, you know, take some time off for yourself, work hard, play hard, all those things, but balancing that kind of work life social media balance at this point, because it really is the three things, is really really important, so you don't look up and just spend you know 5 hours on TikTok or Instagram. So I think it's really important for us to know that, to just for anybody coming in, especially you know in whatever industry, to just kind of like be present and you know maybe try a little bit of analog sometimes, you know.
Mm, yeah.
Beautiful.
I
Beautiful.
I think I would tell them it's okay to be you. You don't have to do what everybody else seems to be doing. Like, you know, it's okay to be an individual. Like I came up, we bought mink coats and jewelry, and you would think that today that would continue with me, but I don't. I'm better off in a little leather and some Levi's at this point. I don't need,
Yeah.
you know, not to say that I don't own a chain or two, because I do, but I had a mink coat, I sold it. I didn't want it no more because it just didn't fit me anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's about being the happiest person I can be. And happiness doesn't necessarily lie in what everybody else is doing for each individual. So I would say it's okay to be you. It's okay to be, if you want to, make, as an artist, make rock music, make it. If I'm in the process of finishing up a project that is going to be left of center for what people expect from me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And I part of it is just that I like the way it sounds, but the other part of it is I understand that it's okay for me to be me. It's okay for me to do whatever it is that I feel is comfortable for me.
Yeah. And I'm not sure what happened to Oz.
Maybe she'll tap back in.
She just did. Okay.
Okay.
Called me, so it bumped me off of this
Oh yeah,
stream.
it does that
Mhm.
sometimes. Yeah.
I might be next on the hit list.
No.
I know.
Yo, I've been getting a shitload of spam this year. Is it just me in my emails?
You should
Yeah.
sign up for Gmail for the Google workspace, and none of the spam will ever hit you again. I think it's about $5 a month, and you get a ton of perks with it. And the best part about it is they have the best spam blocking. But if you don't have workspace and you just have the free Gmail, it's a little shadier.
Okay. This is a concert that I typically ask people in the music industry. Best concert you ever been to?
Oh, my first major concert. Can I say two? Is that okay?
Absolutely.
So my first concert period was Depeche Mode. I'm from Toronto, Canada. Depeche Mode, 1994, Canada's Wonderland. It is Six Flags of Canada. That changed my life. It made me want to like be in music because I was just like, oh my god. But then the best concert I went to was Summer. Oh my god, Summerfest. Is that what it's called in Milwaukee? Is Erica Badu, 1999. And it was it again changed my life. I did like mushrooms and I was super young, and I thought Erica Badu was like literally like godly, and it made me like I just realized right there and then that I absolutely have to be in the music space. So like I Depeche Mode 94 Toronto, Milwaukee, whatever it's called, Summerfest or something like that. Excuse me for not knowing, in 1999.
Yo, Erica
Um,
Badu's dope.
I would say, uh, like I was blessed with concerts. Like I went to the Fresh Fest and different things. Like the in the NWA movie, Strata Compton movie, when
When they were in Detroit,
they were in Detroit and the police rushed the stage. I was actually at that concert.
I was
Right,
at that concert too.
that's crazy. Right, and
That
so,
is.
so um, I I seeing LL Cool J on his Nitro tour was crazy as a young guy. Uh, I recall, I think it was the Fresh Fest. Like Big Daddy Kane came out in a giant hot tub with a bunch of bras in the hot tub, and then he hopped out and started rapping. It was crazy. But as an artist, the best concert I've ever been to was a Beastie Boys concert.
Oh wow, okay.
I can see
Uh,
that. Wait, which
it was
DJ though? Do you remember?
uh, Mixmaster Ice Mike. Was it Mike?
Crazy. Yes.
Um, It was them and Tribe Called Quest, and
Yo.
and we went. Me and Dilla went there, obviously, because this was when Dilla was, on with Tribe or whatever, and we went and I saw it from backstage, from the side of the stage, and like Mixmaster Mike, I think it's Mixmaster Mike, had all the TVs. He had his DJ set up on a row of TVs, and it would spin. Like these three dudes, like would go below the stage and change clothes, and they did the hip hop joints. They came out and played the punk joints live, guitars and everything. They did, like, I had never seen anything like that in my life. Like these guys, like that. It was the most impressive thing I had seen in a live act ever. And like I had never even thought to that extent of doing a show. Like they literally went below the stage and changed clothes under the stage, and then popped back up with guitars and started playing live music, and then went back and started. The DJ would go through a set, do some cuts, and then come back, and they was doing Brass Monkey and all, like the craziest show I had ever seen in my life.
Wow.
Yo.
The crazy, and shout out to Q-Tip and the rest of the Tribe, like, and obviously Dilla, because I got to see it from not the perspective of the audience,
Right.
but to see the inner workings as it's happening as well. Like, man, it was the craziest thing ever.
Yo.
I still say Erica Badu on mushrooms.
Well, if we're gonna do that, I met MC Hammer at the height of MC Hammer, right? Like, cause my brothers were both musicians, right? They were both drummers, so they had bands, and they used to work at Joe Louis Arena, which was like
the spot.
That's the spot where all the concerts came at the time. I mean, y'all both know, y'all both got experience with Detroit. So, but like they had to figure out a way to get backstage passes because they knew people that worked there. And actually, they and my two sisters as well worked at the Renaissance Theater, right? So they would trade tickets with the workers at Joe Louis. And so we got to go to all the concerts for free first and then get backstage passes. So
crazy.
Yeah, like I got at that same show that I met MC Hammer, I also got threw out of the orchestra pit because I walked through it while Patti LaBelle was performing. And that was like an intense no. I didn't know. I was probably about 12, 13. I didn't know, right?
Yeah, I threw your ass out too, bro.
Yeah, don't you ever do that again. They was really upset about that. about people walking through Miss LaBelle's set, I tell you. So, I mean, those type of things, childhood things that left an impression. But again, like I said, as an artist, that Beastie Boys show, I've never seen anything else like it ever.
Well, if I'm being honest, and I've seen some shows over the years, Scarface was my favorite by far.
That's dope.
I saw him maybe 2 years ago in a smaller club setting. And dude, the perfect blend of storytelling behind each song, knowing what song should come next, and switching on the fly. And just, man. But MC Hammer, I was one of them niggas that hated MC Hammer. Oh, this motherfucker can't rap. He ruining hip hop. Fuck him and the baggy pants. Till I went to go see this motherfucker perform. And this shit was some otherworldly alien shit in sync. It was 8,000 people on the stage.
Yeah, like that 200-person entourage is real.
Crazy, bruh.
It's real.
I left that motherfucker like, yo, too legit, too legit. You know, like it was different. I had so much respect for that guy after that. That shit, like, yo, like,
listen, that's one person I want to meet because I want to tell him that story. Like, look here, man. You left an impression on me when I was a little bitty boy.
Yo,
yeah,
that was the biggest. Like, I remember LL coming out the radio back in the day. Crazy work. But man, to be able to be behind stage and see shit,
Yeah.
oh my God, bruh.
Yeah, I was lucky. I like got to meet the Fat Boys and all types of stuff because my brothers had the plug.
First album I ever got, my mother bought me was the Fat Boys.
Mm.
Shout out to my moms, rest in peace. But my mother knew, like from day one, she was on hip hop, like it was her shit. Man, I love my moms. I know y'all got shit to do, man. I'm not gonna hold up too much time. Anything else y'all wanted to promote, let people know about, um, whatever. And before that, first off, I want to say thank you for coming by. This has been a really refreshing conversation.
Thank you for having us.
Guys, it was an honor. Yo,
We appreciate it. We
the, the,
appreciate it.
the, the Prince shit at your parties, the fact that you just roll right past that like it was a Thursday in the middle of May is crazy work. Uh,
Yeah, we're very blessed. I also work with DJ Rashida, who played
Mhm.
at our Dilla's house event, which was part of
Yeah.
Dilla Fest last July, and she was Prince's DJ for over I think I don't know 7 years or something. So yeah, we're very blessed. I would say coming up. Um, Definitely, obviously, everything this weekend and in March regarding Dilla. July, save the date for Lab Cabin California's 30th anniversary, which of course was an album that JD produced.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean, we Fusicology does stuff all the time. So please, support, subscribe, all the things, fusicology.com.
Yeah. Uh, Go check out that new Frank and Dank record that's in stores right now. WF&D Radio. Go get that. Uh, and look out for a new solo joint from me. It's gonna be somewhat eye-opening. I would say it's gonna make you tap your toes. It's a danceable project. You're gonna tap your toes a whole
All
lot.
right, Frank.
okay.
And it's almost done. I'm in the mixing stages right now, and man, it's coming out. I smile every time I listen to it. So that, and then of course all the Dilla events that's coming up, and support Dilla, support the family, support his brother Illa J, and and yeah. Other than that,
And check
look
out
out.
jillafest.com. We've got videos, we've got information about this weekend as well as past videos of
Mhm, mhm.
events. And we're actually about to post something new tomorrow, a sizzle reel to promote this weekend, as well as showing all the things that we did in last year to celebrate JD, what would have been his 50th birthday. So
Yeah,
dillafest.com.
Yo,
yeah.
what's y'all got coming up in Detroit? I missed that.
Yeah, Frank,
Um,
what's up in March? Have they announced it yet?
no, they haven't. I haven't got any alerts or announcements on it yet.
Okay.
So
Usually
I
they
don't. I,
do the Dilla week. Is that what it's called? Dilla weekend?
yeah,
Dilla
Dilla Week.
World.
Yep,
Dilla
Dilla World,
World.
and then they have the whole weekend though. They do.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know as soon as we know. That's not we're affiliated with everybody, but that's not our event directly. We're just sort of we're all family, but we kind of all do our own thing depending on kind of what crews we're in. It's
Yeah.
it's a big faction. There's a lot of JD fans. But we just kind of play our part, play our roles, and obviously Frank, has made so much music with him and was such great friends with him. It's always an honor to have Frank be a part of anything because Frank is part of the legacy and part of his own legacy and a true Detroiter.
What up,
Yeah,
though?
it's home.
Anyway, on that note, and yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing I can ever do for the either of you. However, if for some strange reason you decide to to reach down and help a brother out, no, if you need anything, let me know, and I got y'all, no doubt.
Thank
No doubt.
you.
Thank
No
you.
doubt.
You guys have
And
a
if
phenomenal
you need
evening
us
on
again,
purpose,
if you need us
Yes.
again, holler at us for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
no doubt. Peace. Y'all have a
Thank
good one.
y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Peace, y'all. Asha, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, hold on. You already know, man. This is Jobs. This has been another episode of Intellectually Petty Radio. Shout out to Beautiful Machine Magazine, man. That's the family, the homies. Shout out to the Nerve DJs, man. Just let me been rocking with them for some years now, man. Cannot possibly thank y'all enough. And we are bringing back Black Business Buzz. If you have not heard about that, you do not know what Black Business Buzz is. It is simply intellectually petty. Well, it's simply my way and Rita's way of saying, hey, we got a lot of businesses out there that can use a good look, use a little promo. So we got 4 coming up this Thursday, and we're gonna make this a monthly thing. We got 4 coming up this Thursday. They get 15 minutes apiece to promote whatever business, product, service that they are offering. Shout out to you and shout out to them. And let me see. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me. Cause I ain't even posted the flyer yet, even though it is a fire flyer, if I do say so myself. But give me 1 second. All right, so we got the Shanifa brothers. I'm sorry, not the Shanifa brothers, but Shanifa brothers. Nicole, Ashley G. We got Wood and Christine Hunter all coming on for Black Business. That will be this Thursday at 5 p.m. And then we got Mario Kelly, the dynamic, the legendary Mario Kelly will be coming on this Thursday at 7 p.m. On that note, this is Jobs again, and I am out. Y'all have a good day on purpose. Peace.